Hey, what's up? This is Corey with the Snowboard Show. We're back again here in the studio for episode 5. We're getting a little bit better, I think. But yeah, why don't we bring out Bob Klein to get us started today?
Hey, Corey.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been a little while since I've seen you. I understand you were out in Tahoe for a little bit there.
Yep, I go back and forth to help take care of my parents. That's the main reason. Plus, I can't ever quit going back to Tahoe. It's the best place. I don't know if anyone's on the show heard me say anything about Tahoe, but it really is the best place.
Dude, I mean, it's a legendary place. You're from there, and then just the terrain is unbelievable.
What I've learned is that it's got some of the steepest, most stable and predictable conditions.
Yeah.
So that's a really huge bonus. But after traveling around quite a bit and seeing bigger mountains, Tahoe is short and steep is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, I would say like there and then the Pacific Northwest are kind of the places to really go if you want to hit that type of terrain. And, you know, Baker obviously is kind of the mecca for that.
Yeah, the snow sticks to the rocks and terrain way better than it does here in Colorado. But hey, as long as we're out in the snow, that's all that counts.
Yeah, exactly. How was the drive back?
It was okay, not bad.
Yeah.
You know, just do it all in one shot, 14 and a half hours, and I'm home.
God. It's a little while.
Yeah, but I had some good experiences on the way out. We've got a new format for this episode, actually. We're only going to have one in-studio guest because I actually have a little souvenir. I went to the Tahoe Legends event. Hopefully we can see that.
Raise it up a little higher. Yeah, there you go.
And I didn't really ride. Actually, I didn't ride because I just didn't feel like it, but I filmed. And then also I met up with some other people for Average Snowboarder and in-studio guest stuff as well. And cool. One of our former guests, Tim Greene, gave me a great idea. He volunteered to be a reviewer of sorts for a product.
Awesome.
And then another guy, Paul Tovar, who will be a guest coming up too. He's also going to be a reviewer out in the West.
Cool.
Yeah,
so got some in-the-field correspondence now.
Actually, Tim was up in Winter Park a week or two ago for Split Fest, so we've got some footage from the Legends of Tahoe Snowboarding. I guess that's what it's called now. Used to be Legends of Snowboarding, Legends of Tahoe Snowboarding, Tom Sims Legends. I don't know, it changes all the time. But we'll talk about that through that segment, and we'll have a Split Fest segment, and then we've got a great guest, Guillaume Rolland, who is Regis Rolland's son, and Regis made this film, Apocalypse Snow. They made a book out of it too, and basically introduced snowboarding to Europe. So
I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and Guillaume is just an awesome kid. I've known him since he was born, so we'll have him on, and we'll have another Average Snowboarder segment with my friend Heidi Pomerleau, and that ought to fill out this episode.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
Yep, we'll be right back. Probably another Wally's Hot Sauce commercial coming right at you.
All right now.
All right, welcome back. I'm ready with the jokes for this episode. But wait a minute. Wait, here's not a joke. Dan just showed up with the card. So if we stop here, we'll turn the camera. Wait, here we go. Yeah. Jokes.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Thank you, Dan.
You're amazing, buddy.
Recently, Brighton Ski Resort in Utah held their annual Pride Ride, hosting members of the LGBTQ plus community. Everyone was welcome to celebrate their love of skiing and snowboarding while also allowing those in the LGBTQ community to shred on the slopes and have some fun under the sun. Everyone was warmly received. Except those ski bladers. Nobody likes those damn ski bladers. All right, got to throw a few here.
Here we go.
Tahoe, oh, and by the way, Caesar, again, I apologize. I had no time to practice these jokes. I'm sorry about that. I'll see what I can do in the future about prepping. This is like the last thing I always do, so I apologize. The Tahoe Legends event was recently held, and many historical industry people and icons of the sport put aside their house slippers and took a break from yelling at kids to get off their lawn to be in attendance. Sore joints predominantly replaced rolled joints. Father Time caused the weathered and seasoned legends to sweat and experience fatigue. And that was just from putting on their boots and strapping into their bindings. Winter storms continue out west. Recent rounds of wintry weather has extended the season for some after storms after the shit. This is so bad.
That's what makes it great.
Winter storms continue out west. Recent rounds of wintry weather has extended the season for some after the storms left places looking like just about any surface in Tony Montana's mansion. All right, and here is the last joke of this session here, this episode. Twisted Sister frontman Dee Snider has reportedly allowed the band's hit "We're Not Gonna Take It" to be used by the Ukrainian resistance fighters. In response to hearing that, Napoleon complex sufferer and Russian President Vladimir Putin stated, "Whatever, I never liked that chick's music anyway." And those are the jokes.
Thanks, Caesar.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Caesar. Check out Caesar at Caesar Got Jokes on Instagram. We'll be right back. Here we are, episode number 5. I've got my very special first European guest. Let's bring out Guillaume Rolland.
Hi, Bob.
G, how are you?
What's
Good
up?
to see you. Would you like a mint?
No.
Yeah?
I'm fine. Why not?
No? Okay, there you go. So, for those of you who don't know who Guillaume Rolland is, because you wouldn't know, because he's not a famous snowboarder or anything
Not really.
like that. But your dad is a guy that I worked with. Right behind you here is a Jimmy Scott Pro Model Apocalypse board, and I started working with your dad back in 1990, late 1990, and he is the pioneer of European snowboarding. He made this movie called Apocalypse Snow, and it was shown at movie theaters all throughout Europe, kind of introducing snowboarding to the masses. And then he started a snowboard company, which was later moved to New York, and that's where I met him. So the main reason I wanted to bring you on the show, though, is you didn't necessarily follow the same path as your father, but you also took that individual snowboard spirit in your own direction. Tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up with your dad being such a snowboard legend.
I mean, I guess he was like the best childhood you can imagine, you know, like growing up with all of those guys, like famous people, and like every weekend he was always snowboarding, in always different resorts. So it was pretty sweet.
What got you into riding? Was it just a natural thing? Did you ski first?
No, actually, I started skiing when I was like 3 years old. And after I really loved skiing before, and I didn't want to go into snowboarding. And my dad really pushed me when I was 5 or 6. And after I was snowboarding and skiing until 12. And after when I was 12, I was like, fuck it, fuck ski. ski socks, just snowboard. And since I think I haven't missed a season, just when I went to Australia 6 years ago, but until then I've been snowboarding every winter.
And you still love it.
Yeah. So now I just like to travel. I've been to like all around Europe, Japan, and Canada and the US to ride. So yeah, I like to discover new resorts and new culture of like snowboarding and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, and again, that's one of the main reasons I wanted to have you as a guest is you're an example of somebody who is maybe pretty common in Europe, just somebody who will go and travel and go by yourself and do different things with different people and just experience life in the world.
I mean, my dad has been traveling all his life. So like he was always pushing me to always travel. And when I was a bit lost, when I was 18, he just told me like, I'm gonna send you in the US and you're gonna learn the word, like to learn English and stuff like that. So always pushing me to travel. And now I just can't stop. Like it's even like I'm never home anymore.
Well, yeah, and you know, you would think that to just be able to pick up and go would be somewhat difficult financially, but you found a way to not only survive but actually do pretty well financially and just travel as you want. Tell me a little bit about how that happened, because I know it started in Thailand, I guess.
Yeah, no, not really. Like no. So I was lost. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and I was doing like stops in Grenoble. It was like it's to become like snowboard teacher or like snowboard expert kind of, and I didn't like it. I just dropped it, and my father says, "There's no way you're gonna just stay home and play video games. You know, like I'm gonna call my friend in Val d'Isère. He owns like the biggest après ski in the world, like called the Folies." And so I just started working there, and I was just 18, and all the guys around me were like 30, 25. They were all travelers, and I was like, oh, I want to be like those guys. I want to go to Australia. I want to go work in like different countries. And after I did my first season there, I just couldn't stop. I just did one more, and with the money I was saving, I was just going surfing in Costa Rica and anywhere. And after I was like, oh, I want to do a ski season somewhere else. So just, like going to Japan and stuff.
But so you learned bartending.
So after
trade, right?
So I started like at the beginning, like I was just like dishwasher and running plates. And after when I was looking at the guys behind the bar making cocktails, I was like, oh, that looks fun. I want to do that. So I did a school in Thailand for like a month. And after I was supposed to go back working again at the Folies, but I met people from Australia over there in Thailand, and they just told me, oh, you should take a year off and go to Australia. I was like, fuck it. So I bought a visa, and I called my mom and I said, I'm not coming back. I just canceled my flight back home, And between, we stopped in Bali to go surf for 3 weeks. And after, I just stayed a year.
Yeah, I mean, just the way he speaks about the places he's been so casually, it's amazing. I've never been to that many different countries, and just to absorb that culture. I know your parents pretty well. I've stayed at your house a number of times, and I've known you since you're a kid. And it's funny because we had the Cowboy City episode when he was 16 or 17. We went to Virginia City near Reno, and he refused to walk through the tourist town. And he said, fuck Cowboy City, I hate fucking Cowboy City. So tell me a little bit about Cowboy Cities now, because I mean, you've been hanging out in Western Canada. I'm sure
I love cowboy. I love country music. I love the culture, American culture. It's fun.
I mean, it's so cool.
But he took me to the skate park after.
Yeah, because
I loved it.
He was so pissed off at Virginia City that we had to go to the Reno skate park to calm him down.
And now I remember actually. I love skateboarding as well.
Did you ever think about competing or being in the industry or anything like that?
When I was young, my dream was to have my own brand. I actually started like a little brand. I had my T-shirt with my logo and stuff. But I did this like once, and I was like, oh, that's too complicated. So I just did it like once, and I never did it again.
Smart.
And my dad never pushed me to go in this way. He just like do whatever you want,
And how do they feel about what you're doing now?
Oh, they're proud. I mean, they're like, that's sick. Keep going.
I think this is what makes a true human being in a super dynamic way, in the sense that you've experienced different cultures, you do different sports. I know you're a ripping skater. You surf,
actually,
and you're parachuting,
Yeah.
and jumping out of planes and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I actually almost prefer surfing now than snowboarding. I wanna grow old, like on the beach, and going snowboarding like 1 month a year. That's it. Get some powder, but the rest of the year I want to be on my surf.
And you also motocross, though.
Yeah. I want to have my dirt bike, my surf, and
Mountain biking too?
not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
But you're living in Whistler, and just give me a little rundown of all the different places that you've spent a season, whether it was summer or winter, and then how you ended up in Whistler.
So yeah, I did like 4 years in Val d'Isère, a year in Australia, 6 months in Japan, like all working. And after I was like, oh, like Whistler is like the best ski area in North America, right? So I was like, I need to check it out. But I was supposed to stay for a season, and COVID hit, and I stayed there for 3 years, and now I want to stay 1 more year, maybe 2 more years. And yeah, now I can call Whistler my home for now. It's pretty sweet.
Is there a certain bar in town that you work at, or do you work at all of them?
No, I just worked in one bar called Barroso. It's like a Spanish tapas place. But it's sweet because it's almost only open by night, so I can just shred every day and work by night. It's perfect.
That's great.
Yeah, and we can take time off during the shoulder season, you know. So I always go surfing in Tofino, or now like I'm just coming here snowboarding in the Rockies and stuff.
This guy will travel all over the globe, but then you just decided to bring you and your buddy Eddie on an epic pass trip. And where have you been since between Whistler and here? And
So we did Baker, Stevens Pass, Jackson Hole, Sun Valley. What did you do after? Beaver Creek, yeah, Vale, Breckenridge, Keystone, and tomorrow we're going to Crested Butte.
fantastic.
Telluride, and I think after we can go to Heavenly.
Yep.
It's on Epic Pass, and there's 2 other resorts, I don't remember them
Kirkwood and North Star.
exactly. So if it's open, we're gonna go. If it's not, we're just gonna go surf on the California coast.
Cool.
Like in the camper, I have my 2 surfboards, I have my wetsuit, we have the snowboards, we have the skateboards, so that's just perfect.
Yeah, so I mean, this is an example of you can do whatever you want in your life. Somehow there was this snowboard connection from the beginning, and you found your own path and financed your own way and figured out life on your own, and it's super impressive. It's just so cool to watch you grow up into the man that you are. And Cammie, my daughter, says he's an incredibly ripping snowboarder. And you were telling me that nobody can keep up with him.
Not nobody, but like, it's hard.
Most people.
Yeah, but my dad, like I don't do freestyle at all. I'm really bad on the park. But you put me in the powder or like steep mountain and like speedboarding and shit like this, that's my shit. Yeah, I've never seen my dad doing like a 360, ever. You know, my dad was just like going straight lining, and I was trying to keep up, and that's it. That's all I did.
Yeah.
Just powder and that. So.
Yeah, and anyone who knows Regis Rolland, his father, or has seen him snowboard, I mean, I've ridden with him plenty of times, and he's really fast. If you're anything like him, I'm sure that nobody can keep up with you either.
Yeah.
So that's G, as he likes to be called, Guillaume Rolland, and really appreciate you coming on to the show and taking the time. It was a really rough one for these guys because they haven't been in a big city on this trip. So yesterday was opening day for the Colorado Rockies. I brought them down to the barbecue that we were having at my real estate office, and they put a foundation down and stayed out till 7 in the morning, right? So you're a little bit hungover?
Yeah, very hungover right now.
That's
It's actually tough right now.
You are very smooth. You're a professional young man. I appreciate all of your time.
Thanks for the
And
invite.
if I have any opportunity, maybe I can snowboard with you.
Yeah, I wish we went.
If you'll wait up for me, because I'm a little bit behind.
You should come to Whistler.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll take you snowmobiling.
Yeah, and so that's another one. I mean, he snowmobiles, he skates, he jumps out of planes and parachutes, he motocrosses, he does a little bit of mountain biking, surfing, and all at a high level. Even yesterday when we were cruising through the city and these guys were on their Lime scooters, he was motoing it through the park and jumping off the shit. I mean, it's super inspiring to be around young people like you.
And having people like you as well. You inspire generations as well. My dad, you, everyone else, from the industry. Those people inspired me for sure.
I think that's what it's all about, just keeping that swirl of energy around these action sports and the lifestyle to keep it going and keep that same mentality. And that's again, why I wanted you here, because I feel like viewers and just, anybody listening, it's really important to be inspired by not just people as pros or old people or whatever, but also people like you, because I'm just so impressed with your independence, and it's just fantastic.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. And we will be right back with some clips from the Legends of Tahoe event.
How you doing?
What's up, Doc?
What's up?
Here we are, look.
Here we are.
What is it called this year, Keith?
The Renaissance Fair. I'm gonna go get myself a big old turkey leg later. Yeah. First, I gotta go up and joust, though.
All right, jousting in the pipe of the Legends of Tahoe.
Classic.
us to have made it this far and to still be standing. A lot of us aren't.
Amen.
So yeah, so I want to take this opportunity to recognize some of the fallen fellows and females that we have ridden with and don't ride with in the past, but they're with us always because we remember them. That's what a legend is. And if we forget our legends, it's like a library burns down, right? All right, so let's go with Tom Sims, Jake Burton, Craig Kelly, Noah, right, John Nerva. Shout them out, please. Shout them out, shout out your memories.
Fabricio Bonacino.
John Nerva.
There's Steve. Fabo.
Ron.
Jay.
Yeah, shout out whoever you remember.
How long have you been snowboarding?
Since 1993. So we're coming up on, well, we're at 29 years now.
That's great. And where did you start?
I started in Maine at Shawnee Peak Ski Resort. So Shawnee Peak hardcore going back way back. Yeah, that was back when we knew who was up at the resort in the afternoons, just by whose board was up against the wall.
And did you ski or skate or surf?
I started skiing when I was about 9. So I started snowboarding when I was 13. My parents wouldn't let me skateboard. I was a ballet dancer, and that wasn't why. They just knew I was really clumsy. I'm super clumsy. It took a long time to get good at snowboarding. So they wouldn't let me do any of that. They didn't even want me to snowboard. So I went up one night with my friend Bethany Dwinell. Her dad owned an apple orchard, so he did snowmaking in the winter. And so he got free passes and rentals. And I didn't tell my parents, but we took out snowboards one night. And I came home, we just fell down the hill. That was all we did. And I told my parents, I said, sell my skis, I'm never skiing again. And they said, okay, easy killer. You can rent for a season. And I did, and I never went back. They sold my skis. My parents got me my first setup. It was a 93 Burton Air 5.1. So I started riding on a 151. I am 151 centimeters tall, and I never looked back. I started teaching in 97. I moved to Utah after high school. I graduated in 97, and it's been all snow since then. I did compete a little in high school. We had a snowboard team. And Amber Stackhouse, she turned pro the same year we were on the snowboard team. So we would do little contests, and we would always finish 1-2. And so I was happy to finish behind her. That was fine. And then I don't compete because I'm way too hard on myself. I don't compete with other people, just me. I just want to stoke everybody else out. That's really all I want to do.
That was fun riding. Thank you.
It was, yeah.
You're once again proving that you are not an average snowboarder, anything but average. Everyone has their own perspective and experience, and to me this was a unique experience just to get up to the parking lot and to what's the process like for you? Does it start with a pretty big mental preparation and
just getting to the point where I am the night before involves a lot of prep. Sometimes that's where it starts, is the night before, and then in the morning it's
it's planning to get up early. There's some meds involved. Sometimes there's an Epsom bath. And that's just to get to the point where you're ready to get to the hill. The drive up, I have to monitor the canyon alerts. I have to see how much traffic there's going to be. I have to monitor the parking lot. And I have to monitor how much disabled parking there's going to be. Usually I get there and a lot of people, I have to have disabled parking or I can't ride because I need that energy to be able to snowboard. Usually when I get there, I have to fight someone. Usually I have to ask the resort to make some more disabled parking for me because people who don't have placards and plates will park there anyway. By the time we get to the lift, a significant amount of energy has been spent. So I don't know if I'm gonna get 1 run or 6 runs. So we start out and we see what we're gonna have. Today was awesome because I took a little side tour into the trees and didn't think I was gonna hit some fluffy stuff, and I did. I didn't know how that was gonna go. And that was the first powder I've touched in about 5 years. 5 years.
Wow.
And I have been so deconditioned since then. A lot of people, when they have surgery, they think, oh my God, it's gonna be 6 weeks and then rehab and I'm gonna be down that whole time and what's gonna happen to my body and I'm gonna atrophy. I've had 8 surgeries and I spend more time in bed than I don't. My roommates will go a full week without seeing my face. I'm just in the dark and I'm in bed. And my body's so deconditioned that sometimes just grocery shopping is really hard. Doing laundry is harder than snowboarding, believe it or not. So coming back to the mountain is a huge head game. After being in this for so long, it is a huge head game. And the fear of not riding like I used to, not looking like I used to, not keeping up like I used to, not being able to do the things I used to. I mean, my neurologist banned me from riding park a few years ago. And now my spinal surgeon has told me, yeah, keep snowboarding, just don't fall. No more jumps, no more, I'm grounded now. And that's all.
Well,
that's a pretty big deal.
I thought you rode really well. It's pretty strong,
Well,
pretty
thanks.
fast, pretty solid.
Groomers are the one thing I can still do well.
I saw you go through the trees. We have a little clip, I think.
Well, thanks. That's good to know. It's really tiring now, but it's still it's so great to be there, to just be doing what I love.
And there it is again, the common thread of just getting out and riding and having a good time. It doesn't really matter what the level is.
I have a connective tissue disorder. It's genetic, called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or EDS, and it makes all my connective tissues, so my tendons and ligaments, loose and stretchy. So all my joints will sublux and dislocate. They've been doing it my whole life and I didn't know. So I went around snowboarding and mountain biking for a decade with my shoulders just not attached, really. They were just dangling there. I had no idea. And so this whole time I thought I was just really weak and that I must be doing something wrong, that I must not be keeping up. And then you find this stuff out and they're like, no, you're really messed up. You've done some serious damage to yourself. That was enlightening. And I really worried for a while if I was ever going to get back to the mountains. But they will pry these mountains from me out of my cold, dead hands. My cold, dead, wiggly hands.
I think you have a pretty good grip on the mountains and I'm very impressed with your energy level and your riding. And
Well, thank you. Even if I have to go home and sink into an Epsom bath and just, today, that's it for today. I'm really pretty thrilled that I got up here.
all right, well, Heidi Pomerleau is definitely not your average snowboarder, and this is another average snowboarder segment. Thank you.
Tim with the Snowboard Show. We're here at the Split Fest here at Winter Park, and a bunch of people demoing stuff. We're at the Mamoot booth. They're doing Beacons Pro shovels. A great opportunity for people to get into the backcountry, learn a little bit about some new product, whether you're new to the sport or just looking to buy some new gear. Definitely something you should check out. Split Fests are a great opportunity to meet new partners for the backcountry, check out new gear, or just get into the sport. So hopefully we'll see you at the next Split Fest.
Ben Hilly. I am one of the founders of Front Range Split Fest. I'm also the brand experience manager for Weston. I go to as many Split Fests as possible because they're amazing opportunities to meet other people in the backcountry community. It's also very rare that you're able to demo backcountry equipment from all of these great vendors. If you look around, you can see we've got some of the best brands in the backcountry community. So it's an amazing opportunity to demo this gear, try it before you buy it. Getting into the backcountry skiing and splitboarding is one of the toughest things to do. So if you demo the gear first, super important. And again, it's just one of the best opportunities to meet other people, which is awesome.
Bob, what the fuck did you do to the audio?
I don't know. I thought that I had it, but maybe I pushed the wrong button or something. What do you think, Corey?
I did a terrible job at editing it, but at least we look terrible on camera too.
Yeah. Hey, look, what can you say? That was a great episode. And
Wonderful episode.
Look, matching the lips too, right there.
Totally. It doesn't look like we're watching Japanimation or anything at all.
It'd be fun if we were on that camera angle and you just sped up Corey. Oh, he's gone. Never mind.
Well, anyway, yeah, so that was a great show. And Guillaume and Average Snowboarder and, Tahoe
Split Fest was
Tahoe
rad.
Split Fest. I mean, Tahoe Legends.
Corresponding
and Legends
reporter
Split
for the
Fest
first time.
Yeah. That Legends of Tahoe footage, man, that was priceless.
Cool. Well, we'll run more clips of that because we have way more shots. I didn't want to show all the best stuff, even though I should have.
No, I think you did a good job.
Yeah, very well done.
Cool. Well, I don't know. I mean, man, 2 minutes is a long time, isn't it?
What are we up to right now? 1 minute, 9 seconds.
Wow.
If we had some more of Caesar's jokes, we could probably tell some of those right now.
Oh, dude, I would love to mangle some of those at the end of this.
Caesar is excellent, I think.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Why does he always have pizza on his Instagram?
He
Anybody
loves
go to
pizza.
his Instagram, there's just pictures of
He's
pizza.
some kind of a pizza judge in his town in Connecticut.
Dude.
We'll have to get clarity, okay? Caesar, let us know.
Caesar, you should call into the show because I want to ask you if pineapple belongs on a pizza. I have my opinion.
Yeah. Pineapple was announcing at the Legends event, actually.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But that you wouldn't put... Anyways.
Anyway, that was a fun show.
Dump
to
a bunch of
film.
marinara sauce on them and bread them up.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely subscribe on our YouTube channel and Instagram. And
At the Snowboard Show.
Yeah, at the Snowboard Show. And hopefully...
We're going to be famous.
Yeah. Or rich and famous. That's the idea.
Or none of the above.
All right. Here we go. Next episode's going to be awesome. Stay tuned. And
Bye-bye, everyone.
Later.